Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beatley Tones Sunday live stream. Hope you're all doing well. Can someone let me know if you can see me and hear me and everything is as it should be? Terry's in the kitchen. He's in the kitchen to be near the kettle. Very wise. Very wise. That's exactly where you want to be. Yeah, Rob's saying yes, yes. Hi, Martin. Hi, Beetle Boy, Peter. Hi, Stephen. How you all doing? Hi, David. Nice to see you. Thank you for confirming that you can see me and hear me, and that's wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so have you all had your Sunday lunch? Have you all had your Sunday lunch? Hi, Richard. Hi, Richard. Grateful Kate. Hi. Little Beatles Corner. That's Patricia. Hi, Patricia. Yeah, everything's okay here in my world. Hope yours is too. Hi, Paul. Happy Sunday to you as well. So Yoko's 91st birthday. 91st birthday. Wow. Pete says no, hasn't had his Sunday lunch yet. It's only 10 a.m. Where are you, Pete? Yeah, is okay. It's okay now. It's okay now. Thank you. Yeah, so Yoko, 91st birthday. We went to her exhibition. She's got an exhibition at the Tate in London at the moment, and we went there on Friday. It was really good. It was really good. It was really good. Loads of although those old bits of conceptual arts were all there. The ladder with a magnifying glass. You get in a bag. You could hammer a nail in. There was all sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff going in. Pete says he's in Connecticut. Stephen says, just trying to calm down way back from watching Glasgow Rangers win 3-0 to go top of the league. Okay. Martin is saying, what's he saying? There's a great alternative vocal on Let Me Roll It. What's that referring to? We're talking about undubbed. Graham is saying, hi, Tone. We have Sunday lunch around 6 p.m. I'm in Ruislip. Okay. The other end of the central line to me. Okay. Paul says, happy birthday, Yoko. I'm planning to visit the exhibition in April. It is really good. It's really good. And I got this I got this badge. I don't know if you can see that. It just says yes on it, from the magnifying glass thing, because we all need to have a positive vibe. So that's it. Yeah, very good. So yeah, 91. It's funny actually because they did have the cut piece, the video of the cut piece, and I've never really seen it like all the way through, and it's a bit it's a bit weird because when people first start going up to cut pieces of her clothes off, they're very, they're very subtle. They're cutting a collar or a sleeve or something like that. And as it gets more into it, it's like there's a bloke that goes up there and he just like snaps, cuts her bra right in the middle, and you can see that she was really intimidated by that. So yeah, wasn't good. But if you are able to get to the Tate Gallery in London, I would recommend it. It's good. I'll probably have a video up about it next week. People says, was you allowed to take photos? Yes. And what did it cost you? I think it was £22 or something like that to get in. So the Tate you it's free basically. The Tate Gallery is free. But when they have like specific exhibitions, you have to pay for those. So you can still you pay your 22 quid, but then afterwards you can go and have a look at all the other nonsense that's in the Tate Gallery. Martin, howdy Martin, hi, nice to see you. Martin says, life's coming at Moyes fast. Your Europa Conference winner, fans want him out. Yeah, get him out. I'll visit Yoko exhibition this coming Tuesday. Have a good time, Pablo. I think you will enjoy it. It's fun. What do you think will be the next big Beatles release? I don't know. They just keep us guessing all the time, don't they? The smart money is Rubber Soul, I guess. But you never know. You never know. I mean, they took us by surprise with the red and the blue. But if I was a gambling man, I would say probably Rubber Soul. But there you go. As always, we'll have to wait. Martin says, happy birthday, Yoko. Grateful Kate says that's a long way away in WV here, but still happy birthday, Yoko. Okay. That's West Virginia, right? WV, yeah. Okay. David says, I got a Yes badge a few years ago in a John and Yoko exhibition at the Liverpool Museum. Paul says, did the exhibition change your views on Yoko positively or negative? No, not really. I've always been very positive about Yoko. I kind of get her humor. I kind of draw the line at the sort of at the music, at the screamy music. I can't listen to that. But I kind of get her humor in her art. And there was a lot in that exhibition that I hadn't really heard of, stuff from the very early 60s, from when she was in Tokyo and stuff like that. All these little instructions and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it didn't really change my view one way or the other. I still feel exactly the same. I kind of get her humor. I quite like her music when she's doing proper songs. But I don't like all the screaming and all that sort of stuff. What about you? Patricia says, will the exhibition be well attended, you think? How long it's running? I'm not sure how long it runs, but I think it's till September. It's a long run, and it was really, really busy on Friday. I don't know if that was just because it was a Friday, but it was like it wasn't like Friday night or anything. It was a Friday afternoon, 12 o'clock. We went in there. It was busy. It was busy. I'm not sure what that refers to. Steve says, afternoon tone, 9 minutes late, but hearing loud and clear. Thank you, Steve. Charles says, hi, Tone. It looks like you have a cold. Yeah, I do. I do have a cold. Elvis says, just got back. What have I missed? Nothing really. We've just been talking about Yoko's birthday and saying that I went to her. She's got an art exhibition at the Tate Modern in London at the moment, and we went there on Friday. And so I was telling people about it. Graham says, if you've got the deluxe Abbey Road box with the book, I'm in it because I was one of the boys that tried to steal an Abbey Road sign. 2 years suspended sentence, thanks to Mark Lewison. Is that a true story? I mean, I do have the deluxe box set with the book. I'm going to check you out. Terry's here. Terry from Derby in the UK. Just want to pay tribute to Steve Wright, a great bloke and fantastic DJ. He conducted some fun and amusing interviews with Macca over the years. God bless you, Steve. And rest in peace. Nice tribute, Terry. Now, because because he was always on in the afternoon, and he I started work at 16 in 1977, and I don't think he was on Radio 1 before that. So I never really heard him that much because I didn't work in the kind of job where you were allowed to have the radio on during working hours. So I had an office job. So I don't know. Obviously I know who he is, and I've seen clips of him and stuff like that. But I'm not feeling the sadness quite as much because I didn't used to get a chance to listen to him every day. And I guess if you did, he became part of your life, part of your routine, I guess. Just want to check something. Yeah, Lee is also saying rest in peace, Steve Wright. Pete says from some time in New York City on, her music was much better. Yes, I think so. I think so too. Dexter's here. Loud and clear in Perth, Western Australia. Lovely. What time is that? It's what is it, about midnight for you? Paul says, I'm with you on Yoko screaming. It may be best saved as an idea than reality. Imagine Yoko screaming. I've got a lot of respect for her artwork. Grateful Kate says, that's phenomenal. I'm not sure what we're talking about, Grateful Kate. What is phenomenal? Did they allow you to bring book to prison? Great read. Bring book to prison. I don't know what that means. What does that mean, Martin? Did they allow you to bring book to prison? Stephen G says, I'm sticking my neck out here as I believe we will get London Town and Back to the Egg archive sets plus a Rubber Soul deluxe box set. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Expensive, but fantastic. Martin says, we will never see 3 volumes of Lewisham book. No, we won't. And Graham says, 100% true. I didn't know about it. Mark Lewisham told me when we were talking. Right, I'm going to check it out. Martin says, Tone, I get your point on Lewis. So I don't want to know what jobs their aunts and uncles had. It's all too much. Yeah, it is. It is all too much. Crazy amount of detail that we just do not need to know. I mean, he is an expert. He's an expert researcher, but some of this stuff you don't need to know, do you? He's not a brilliant writer, I don't think. 43 degrees here today and tomorrow. Wow, it's 11:15 in Perth Lovely. Well, that is very hot, actually. Very hot. Um, Elvin says, can anyone remember who was the preschool Radio 1 DJ in the early 70s? Yeah, what on Radio 1? Uh, was it well, it used to start off, was it Tony Blackburn? Tony Blackburn? And maybe you mean the who did the morning show, so before you went to school? Yeah, maybe Tony Blackburn, I'm not sure. Noel Edmonds? Um, the Abbey Road story sign, I have the box set. Ah, okay. Just a cool story. Pablo says, just checked Abbey Road and Graham Pete is mentioned. Good lad. I'm going to be checking it out. I would do it now, but I can't leave you alone. Lee says, I like the opening track from Approximate Universe Side 3. I felt like smashing my face in a clear glass window. Yeah, it's a cheerful song. But yeah, that is probably her best album, I think. Martin says, a wee interesting thing Lewison said, John works at airport and was later named after him. Yeah, I think he said that on the last stream, actually, Martin. I seem to remember. David says, Tone, did you buy the Beatles book magazine in the 70s? We were very lucky to able to buy them all. Yes, I did. They're all up on my shelf just over there. I think I've got the whole set because they, if you follow the channel, you'll know that I started, kind of discovered the Beatles in 1976, and that's when they started doing those reprints. It was really lucky. It was really lucky, and then there was originally 77 of them, wasn't there? And then they kept it going. They milked it a little bit further. I think they eventually ended it about 2003 or something like that. So yeah, I did. Patricia says, did you hear about the tiny Beatles record player that will be offered on Record Store Day? Yeah, I did. It doesn't interest me though. Anyone interested in the tiny Record Store Day record player playing 3-inch records? Anyone interested in that? David Jackson is going. Noel Edmonds did the morning show. Lee saying, is that DJ Ed Stewart? Ed Stewart, I think, was on was he on a weekend? I think he was on a weekend. I don't want to alienate anyone who's not from the UK by talking too much about Radio 1 DJs, but I think Ed Stewart was from we used to have a show at the weekend, Junior's Choice. Martin says, I think John worked there before it was an airport. Right, okay. Terry's thinking Tony Blackburn. Charles is thinking Tony Blackburn as with Arnold the dog. Where are we? Pete says, no on Record Store Day, Record Player. The solo releases are more interesting. Yeah, I'm interested in the Mind Games EP, the Luminous vinyl. I think I might try and get that. I'm not getting Ringo's EP on vinyl because it'll be about 25 quid. So I'll probably get it on CD, but Maybe not at all. We'll see. Lee says, in a charity shop about 6 years ago, I was looking through CDs and I saw one that had all the Beatles monthly books on it. Sorry, had all the. I saw looking through the CDs and I saw one that had all the Beatles monthly books on it. What's that CD-ROM? Yeah, you're right. Ed Stewart was Weekends. Yeah, all right, okay. David says, Paul's Club Sandwich started also in 1976, so it was a good year to be a Beatles fan. It was incredibly lucky because they also in the school summer holidays of 1976, they also showed all the Beatles movies on BBC One on a Tuesday night. I remember it really clearly. Apart from Magical Mystery Tour. And for some reason, because obviously this is 1976, I didn't have a video recorder, but I felt that because the Beatles films were being on TV, I had to make some sort of record of them. So I recorded them, but just the audio, on my, tape recorder or whatever. Don't know why. Never ever listen to those tapes at all. Complete waste of time. But why did I do that? Oh, you picked it up for £1. So you've got like a CD-ROM that's got all the Beatles monthlies on it. Fantastic. Graham says the article about me and two lads getting caught stealing the Abbey road sign is on page 90, middle column in the book. Thanks, Mark Lewison. I'm going to check it out directly after this stream. Steve says, love the club sandwich and various memorabilia from the fun club. Henry says, hey, Tone. Hi, Henry. David says, I was as sad as you, Tone. I recorded them too. Why? I don't know why we did that. Why did we do that? Crazy. Kier's here. Kier from the From Me to You channel. Afternoon Tone. I'm going to go down to Rough Trade in Nottingham City Centre and queue up for the Mind Games EP. Wish me luck. Yeah, 20 quid, do you reckon? Yeah, probably about that. Yeah, good luck getting that. Yeah. That's the one I fancy. There's a few non-Beatles things that I quite fancy as well. But yeah, I quite like the idea of the Mind Games EP on luminous vinyl. I have to make a video in the dark. Paul says, I'm guessing the Record Store Day Mind Games content will be on the deluxe release too. Yes, I should think so. Still interested in Record Store Day release, but I don't know how limited it will be. Terry says, I was incredibly lucky as my mum put the Beatles book on the paper bill, so I had it delivered every month. Happy days of my early Beatles fandom. Yeah, I've got these. Let me find them. Got tons of these things. I don't know how many there are. But there are loads. Oh, that's quite nasty, isn't it? When's that from? August 2000. There's Paul looking quite chubby there. But yeah, it became harder and harder to find the Beatles monthly reprints. So I used to order them from Beat Publications, was it called? I think. Yeah, so I used to have it delivered as well. But not many sort of paper shops did it. If you said Keith Smith, I'll be there too. I'll be looking for different stuff. Hi, Eddie. Hi, Bought a video recorder in 1979 when the BBC showed the Beatles at Christmas. Still have the tapes somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I had tons of video. Um, you know, whenever there was any sort of Beatles, uh, you know, telly stuff going on, um, I used to call it my quick Macca's on Wogan phase, where you'd scramble about for a VHS tape because Paul's just turned up on Wogan or Russell Harty or whatever he's being on. And yeah, I had loads of videos of all the, whenever they were on the telly, on the tube, and all sorts of stuff. But I don't have a video recorder anymore or video player, so and probably pretty much everything that I ever recorded off the TV is probably on YouTube. What's the Bowie album? This is Record Store Day, is it? Let me know what that is. Henry had all four of my wisdom teeth removed a few days ago. It was quite terrifying. That sounds horrendous. That sounds horrendous. I hope you are recovering from that. Back Bacon Beer. Good morning from Canada. Mind Games box set sounds exciting. I heard it may be moved from August to September for release. I think it's June. The last that I heard, it was June. Lee says he ordered Beatles Monthly at WH Smith's. Music Sound Gear. Hello, everyone. A bit late to the show. Don't worry about it. No one needs to bring a note for coming late. You turn up when you turn up. It's fine. Graham said, I started buying the Beatles monthlies from the beginning. I still have them all. The original set was 1 to 77, yes. Then they closed down and another company took over printing them. David Barron says, just had a look at the Beatles film shown on BBC One in August 1976 on Genome website, and they were not shown in Wales. Really? Okay. Alternate Ziggy album, different tracks. What are these outtakes or completely different tracks that were left off the album? Martin says Beatles anthology book is so stupidly big. I have it, but only thick through. You have to have commitment. Martin. You need to get it on your knees and go through it. When is Record Store Day this year? The Mind Game box set for me. Though that and Walls and Bridges will be the only ones for me. So Record Store Day, I think it's the 20th of April. I think the Mind Games box set, I think, is coming out in June. No news on Walls and Bridges yet. That'll be next year, I expect. But the Record Store Day release is a sampler EP from the Mind Games box set, and I think it's on. I think it might be on black vinyl and luminous vinyl. I'm not sure. David says, I seem to remember the BBC showed the Beatles at Shea Stadium in 1976. I've never seen it since. I don't remember that either. I don't remember seeing. I mean, I've seen it, but I don't remember it being on the BBC that early. Ah, right. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. Dexter's confirmed Record Store Day is the 20th. Mr. Joe, hi Tone and everyone. In the Mind Games box set, wouldn't it be funny if they included the Utopian national anthem as a single with no disc, in the sleeve? Yes, yes, that's concept. Or what about they could have um, like alternative mixes of the silent track? Tom says coming 20th April 24 to record stores, a mini celebration of the Beatles' historic Ed Sullivan appearances. Okay. That says I have a version of David Bowie pin-ups with Amsterdam on it. The only thing I've got with is Amsterdam's not on Space Oddity, is it? I've got a Bowie at the Beeb that I think has got Amsterdam on it. Sound Music Gear says anthology, big book. I just got the Who's Next big box, and the books in that are huge. Have to put them on the table to read them. Yeah. Shea Stadium showed on the BBC in 1979. Thank you for confirming that, Eddie. Alternative mixes. That's funny. David says, Tone, you're not getting picture discs of electronic set. No. That is they're quite weird though. They're not like normal picture discs. I'm not sure if I fully understand what those releases are. I need to look into them, but I'm not getting them, I don't think. Yes, Utopian national anthem coupled with 2 minute silence. What a cracker that'll be. Dexter, where did you get your pin-ups? Steven says, just a general question from one Beatles fan to another. What is your favourite Beatles related thing you've ever bought or been given? Mine is the original low numbered white album in mono near mint. I think, I don't know. I think it is the Paul McCartney singles crate. Because it's just a superb set. I think that if I had to say something, it would be that, I guess. Those Harrison albums should just be being reissues. No one wants picture discs. No, I'm not even sure anyone wants reissues, do they? That says Bowie at the Beeb Amsterdam was live on John Peel. Yeah. I bought it on eBay, he said. I only had the Amsterdam single. Terry says, Utopian national anthem and 2 minute silence, listening party at a silent disco. We know how to enjoy ourselves, don't we? We know how to have fun. Paul says, the George release for Record Store Day, yes, is a zootrop spelling. Yes, this is what was confusing me. I wasn't sure. I had to look up what a zootrop was. It's a kind of animation. When the disc spins, I'm not buying them either. No. Bit weird, isn't it? Bit weird. David says, in the Telegraph's review of Yoko's exhibition, the reviewer claimed that they used Yoko's screaming Guantanamo Bay. Don't know if this is true. I don't know either. Richard says Amsterdam was a bonus on the Ryko reissue CD LP. Thanks for confirming, Richard. So we've got. Um, do we think that we're going to get anything else from Camp George uh, this year? This year, because Danny said we're going to put out whatever we can get away with, and so far we've got fairly uninspired releases of Wonderwall and Electronic Sound that no one really cares about. But if they was to put out something for, say, Living in the Material World or Dark Horse or something like that, then people might care about it. Dark Horse is 50 years old this year. So does anyone think we might get something else, or do you reckon that is it? There's a lot of great albums turning 50 this year. Bowie the Baby's a bit steep these days. What's that? Is that vinyl or CD? I mean, I bought the CD. It was like a triple CD, I think. Yeah, triple CD when it came out. Whenever that was, 2000, 2001, or whatever. And it had that great. It had that great gig from from the BBC studios, like modern day gig. It was really good. Where he did some really great arrangements of some of his songs. Really good. Charles Starling says, best thing I ever owned was a program from Beatles' 1963 tour. My brother-in-law gave me in the early 80s Plymouth show. Do you like snooker, Tone? I used to. In the 80s, I used to be snooker loopy. But I mean, I'm never any good at playing it. Terrible, terrible. But when it was on TV all the time, you kind of couldn't really avoid it, could you? And yeah, it used to be quite exciting. And everyone remembers the sort of the Dennis Taylor, Steve Davis final in 1985, was it? But yeah, but I don't watch it these days. I don't watch it these days. Terry says, I'd like to see a re-release or a box set for George's self-titled album 1979. Yeah, so would I. So would I. Do you think we might have to wait, though? We might have to wait till some sort of anniversary, like, 2029 or something. Music Sound Gear says, I'd be happy with a Ringo box set. Yeah, I think most people would be. Um, uh, Alphabet's talking about I think Bowie at the Beeb. That's the 5 LP version. Lee says Dark Horse was George's poorest album. I can't see that this year. I've always really loved Dark Horse. I've al- I've just got a soft spot for it. It was one of the first solo albums that I bought. It wasn't the first solo album, but it was one of the first that I bought, and I've always had a bit of a soft spot for it. Um, I think it's got some good tracks on it. But anyway, maybe I'll do a review of it soon. So we're talking about Ringo's box set again. Kia says, I doubt we'll get much from George. They seem so reluctant to give any respect to the 74 to 82 years. That always disappoints me because there's great stuff there. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Back Bacon Beer says Guantanamo Bay was a prison in Cuba but held by the US. Steve Davis is in a prog band now. He can't be. He's got no hair. Music sound good. Snooker, billiards, table snooker. Yeah, well, it's more complicated than billiards, and much harder to play. But yeah, it's same sort of on a green baize table, but billiards much smaller. Where are we? Patricia says a totally different question tone. Can you still get photographs like I see on your wall from Eye of the Storm? Are they high quality photos? Yeah, I think you can. Shit. That's down the back. I'm not sure if I can get it. No, I'll have to get it later. Yeah, it's pretty good quality. It's pretty good quality. And I think you can. I don't know whether you can get them from Paul's website or whether there's an Eye of the Storm. Where there's an Eye of the Storm website, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think there's quite a lot of them that are available as a reprint. Mr. Joe says, just coming off the 60th US visit here in the States, I've never seen any footage of their Carnegie Hall performances. Did they not think to film them? Yeah, because I don't know, because they're a new band. Haven't really got a reputation in the States. Maybe they didn't film, just every single thing. There's certainly enough footage of that trip, but maybe not so much live performances. Paul says, I think I read Danny is planning to release the whole catalogue as zootropes. I think the problem with living in the material world is the profits go to the charity. I would love a whole new separate release of outtakes. Yeah. Now, why would the profits going to the charity be an issue? I'm just trying to think why that would be an issue. Because there's been other re-releases of this album throughout the years, so there shouldn't be any restrictions. It should just be whether they want to put it out or not. Stephen G says, knowing George's estate would be lucky to get a 60th anniversary of living in the material world. They really do need to pull their finger out. David Jackson, maybe early takes volume 2 from George. Yeah, maybe in 10 years or something. Keir says it's 45 years old this year for George's self-titled album. Does that count as an anniversary? Ha ha. Yeah, we could push the boundary and say that is an anniversary. The Drag Guru's Tone, I agree with you about Dark Horse. Very underrated LP. Thank you. Yeah. Hi, mate. Do you think we'll get a Rubber Soul Deluxe box set? Is my favourite album. I do. It will happen. It will happen. The question is when. The question is when. Oh, Larry's here. Hi, Larry. I listened to Stripped Down Double Fantasy last night for the first time in months, and I really enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on it? I really like it. I really like it. I think that there are, there's quite a lot of differences on it. It's really good. I do enjoy it. I'm sort of halfway through watching your discussion on Approximate Infinite Universe. You having a discussion with someone about that album. I haven't got to the end of it yet. But I was just saying earlier, we went to Yoko's got an art exhibition in London at the moment. We went there on Friday. It was really good. It was really good, fun thing. Right, Grateful Kate says, Dark Horse underrated. Agree. Thank you. Good. Martin Robertson says, Tone, are you interested in any of the recent Dark Horse releases like Billy Idol? No, I'm not. I'm not really. I don't collect, um, you know, albums by bands uh, just because they're on a specific label. So I don't really, I don't have any Mary Hopkin albums. Um, you know, um, I do have a couple of Badfinger albums actually, but I don't specifically, go after those albums. Um, my favorite album is Revolver. That's the one. That's the best one they ever did. Okay, White Album for me. Stephen G says brilliant live TV moment there with the photos. So, yeah, comedy moment. Yeah, gonna have to try and get it out later. Back Bacon Beer says, I bought Dark Horse and saw George on that tour. Fantastic. Fantastic. It was extensively filmed and audio recorded, but the film was never released. Yeah. I guess due to to the performance, I suppose. Um, that kind of thing. Um, and the bad reviews and all that sort of thing. But you know, fans would love it. Fans would love it if they were to put that out. Uh, I'd love they could kind of get the best performances from each gig that was recorded, and yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great. It's a real shame, missed opportunity. Alfred Man says, Steve Davis' band called Utopia Strong. Okay. Terry says, I think you can get prints from Paul's exhibition at the National Portrait Gallery online store. Okay, thanks, Terry, for that. Hope you heard that, Patricia. Registered charity. That takes time sometimes. I'm in the thick of it myself. Okay. I just looked up YouTube Zotroop picture disc. Those will be really cool. Okay. A different opinion there. Lee says, George's self-title is my favourite, but didn't like it when it came out. Oh, really? Really? Martin says, is Let Me Roll It Paul's best rocker? I'd like to hear a better one. I don't know. Are we a bit sort of are we a bit Let Me Roll It out? Because, have we just heard it too much now? Because he plays it at every gig. And have we just heard it too much? I don't think it's his best rocker. There's quite a lot I think I would go for before that. What about Rock Show or Beware My Love or something like that? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Junior's Farm. I mean, I just think that it doesn't thrill me anymore. Let Me Roll It. I mean, it's a great track, but it's I just think we've just heard it so much now that maybe it's the excitement has gone a little bit. Hello, MBT. Welcome. Simon says, what system do you play your vinyl on? And do you prefer the Beatles in mono or stereo? Okay, so so this room where I do my videos, this is like a garden room, so it's outside of the house. So I've got a hi-fi in here, but my main hi-fi is in the main house. So I've got a Michelle engineering turntable and a name Supernate 3 integrated amplifier, um, and my speakers are Monitor Audio Gold 300s, fifth generation. So great big floor standers. It's fantastic speakers, really good speakers. As far as mono and stereo, I would always prefer to hear the Beatles in stereo if it wasn't for that dreadful panning from one side to the other. Where you've got the music on one side and the singing on the other. I mean, we're gradually getting that improved now. But I don't think that we should be listening to mono records these days, really. But you know, there are reasons to listen to mono records because they don't have most of the monos don't have some of the mistakes that they made, pressing mistakes that they made on the stereos, and obviously they don't have that panning. But what you do get with the monos is it's kind of it's all squashed into the middle, and difficult to hear separation. And obviously, back in the day, they kind of dialed the bass down because they had to, they had to make sure that people with the worst kind of equipment, those Dan set, people that were buying Beatles records in the 60s, kids, they didn't have expensive equipment. So, they had to dial the bass down so it didn't vibrate and, the stylus didn't jump and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I think, I think probably in stereo, but definitely in stereo once they've had the proper remix to get rid of the the panning and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too. We'll have a look in a minute. Lee says, heard McCartney play Let Me Roll It too much. Yeah. It's all right. It's okay. I'm sure it's okay. I'm sure it's okay. Hi, Matthew. Hi. Steve says, Beware My Love, for me, the best rocker. Charles Duncan says, Old Simon Sir is a good rocker for me. Yeah, for me as well. Grateful Kate, my hi-fi is waiting for a new tune. Lee says, looks like a reorder for the picture tone. It'll be all right. Don't worry. But Bacon Beer says Gone Tropper was George's last album before he took a break. To promote it, he did was one interview. Your opinion of it? It had a few good tracks, but for me, it came across as a contractual, obligatory album. Yeah, much in the way that Extra Texture does. I am not a massive fan of Gone Troppo. I think it's got a few moments on it. What's on that? It's Wake Up My Love. Is that on that? It's kind of got that kind of 80s synthy sort of stuff sound on it. It has got some decent songs on it, but I'm not a massive fan of Gone Troppo, and George just wasn't interested what in that album at all. He just didn't promote it at all. Waste of time. Okay, so what about? Okay, we talked about Paul's best rocker. What about best ballad? Best ballad as a solo artist or Wings? What would you go for? Best love song. ballad. Martin says sometimes bad lyrics work, Junior's Farm. When they don't work for me, getting closer, my salamander. Yeah, I don't really care. I don't I don't really care about the bad lyrics. I don't know if you saw my Back to the Egg review that I did the other day, the deep dive, where I kind of talk about how important it is um, to have better musical content than lyrical content, and the reasons for that. But everyone has their own priorities, and that's fine. Keir says, I really like Gon Troppo. A middle tier George album, 8 out of 10. That is high praise indeed. Mystical One is a good track. Yes, that is. That's the way it goes. Circle's a bit dull. No, I can't stand Dream Away. It just reminds me of that film, that film with all the dwarves. Yeah, but yeah, I've already told you. It drives so crazy if I remember right. Yeah, it does. It does. It drives me nuts. Do you think that those old dance set record players are to blame for the so-called Rubber Soul loud cut? But when they do a box set, I hope the original 65 stereo is on it. They put on the mono box set. Yeah, I always wondered why they put a 1965 stereo mix of Rubber Soul and Help on a mono CD box set. That just always seemed a bit nuts to me. Why did they do that? I don't know if that is the reason. I don't know, unfortunately. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Oh, Richard's gone. Richard's gone left field. He's gone Footprints. Great song. Love that song. Terry says it all when I picked up a copy of Gon Troppo in a charity shop for £1. Yeah. Best ballad I'm carrying. Oh, that's a good shout. I mean, it's not what I would pick, but you've gone for a kind of a deep cut, so I like that. Paul's best ballad is Here Today, says Paul. Steve says Little Lamb Dragonfly, best ballad. Sound music sound gear. Maybe I'm Amazed is my favorite. I think it's probably the best song he's ever written, but I I get a little bit I get a little bit fussy about which version I say is the best version that he's or the best song that he's ever written. I think the Wings Over America version is like the go-to version with Jimmy McCulloch's two like guitar solos, just superb. Just superb. I love that version. Martin says sometimes Paul left dummy lyrics in songs and could easily change them. Yes, yes. Only Love Remains is pretty special. The Loveliest Thing is sensational. Keir also going fairly deep there with a B side. Only Love Remains. Have you heard have you got the 12-inch version of Only Love Remains, Keir? Because I think it's better. I think it's better than the one that's on Press to Play. It's kind of well, I don't know how to describe it really. It kind of seems a little bit more accessible, I think. Martin says prefer Paul's latest John tribute of I've Got a Feeling to Here Today. Okay. Paul Ballard, this has never happened before from Chaos and Creation. Yeah, good shout. Alfred Mann says, maybe I'm amazed. What about Jenny Wren? Yeah, Jenny Wren's great track. Great track. I'm not sure if I would say it was his best, but it's a great track. I really like it. Mr. Joe says, My Love tends to come to mind as best ballad. That's quite a hard question. It is. It is. It's got that fantastic guitar solo, isn't it? Lee says, Tone, after hearing the exquisite sound quality of Now and Then, the remixes of Free as a Bird and Real Love are going to be epic and should be advertised like you've never heard them. Agree? Yes, I do. I do, but I don't know what's happened to them. What has happened to them? I don't. I honestly, I do not know why they didn't do it. Uh, why they weren't on the Blue album? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Not that it particularly makes sense to have Now and Then on the Blue album, but if you're having Now and Then on the Blue album, then you need to have those two on the Blue album as well, because the Blue album and the Red album, is every Beatles single and key album tracks, and Free as a Bird and Real Love were singles, so they should be there. Nuts. uh uh Bacon Beer says, My Love is my favorite Paul and Wings ballad. Lee says, worthy of any Beatles recording. Martin says, Real Love and Free as a Bird, I love. Now and Then is crap. Oh, I disagree. But we'll always argue about that. It's okay. That's okay. We'll hear things differently. Hey, Nick. How you doing, mate? Hope you are well. Right. Charles says, every night and one of these days are two of my all-time favourite Mac tracks. That's the Way It Goes was a lovely track on Gone Troppo. I thought, yes, that is a good. That's the Way It Goes. Was that on Troppo? Okay. Calico Skies, loads. How strong is this man as a balladeer? So many songs coming up. Everyone's picking a different one. Charles really loves Little Willow. Yeah, great song. Christopher Hahn is here. Best ballad, No More Lonely Nights. Yeah, no one's picked that. Absolute belter. Absolute belter of a song. Martin says, underrated Paul albums for me, McCartney 1 and Venus and Mars. Does anyone agree with Martin? Underrated albums, McCartney 1 and Venus and Mars. Do you think I think McCartney 1 is probably underrated. Do you think Venus and Mars is? I mean, it was a massive hit. Massive hit album. Do you think it's underrated? Or do you think are you talking as far as like Paul fans, when people do their sort of rankings and stuff like that, it doesn't do that well, because it's my favorite album, Venus and Mars, from McCartney. But there you go. Fabi Music says, yesterday I picked up Beatles love songs, Decca tapes, George Harrison Somewhere in England, and George Harrison's self-titled album on vinyl. All new, or was you crate digging? Overrated, Back to the Egg. Yes. Best rocker, Too Many People. Another shout there. Richard, hello, Richard. Hi, nice to see you. Eddie says, always like Warm and Beautiful. Yeah, I always like that. It's not that, not a lot, but a lot of people don't like that, do they? I always like that. Lee says, Tone Martin, check out the REO Brothers medley performance of the 390s Beatles tracks. Beautiful. Okay. Terry says, I'm going to go for No More Lonely Nights as my favourite ballad. Great shout. Great shout. Martin says Speed of Sound is right at the bottom with Egypt Station, Driving Rain, and Press for me. Oh, what would you have? So would you have? Uh, would you have Pipes of Peace above all of those, and Broad Street, and Kisses on the bottom? Uh, I think Egypt Station has got some good moments on it. Driving Rain, you've got to dedicate time to. It's such a long album, and you need to live with it, and love it for a while, and it will give you rewards. I think it's got some great music on it, and same for Press. You know, Press to Play only goes downhill for me when we get to after Pretty Little Head. So what is it? Is it Move Over Busker, Angry, and However Absurd? I've never liked the track However Absurd. Always sounds completely weird to me. But I think the rest of Press to Play is really good. I really enjoy it. But you know, everyone hears things differently. There are a couple of ballads on Flaming Pie that are pretty special. Yeah, Heaven on a Sunday is really good, isn't it? That's a really good one. Martin saying Pipes of Peace too. Richard saying I love Beware My Love, always have. Martin says Wings as a democracy didn't work. Well, it never was one, was it? Paul was far too ahead of the others. Speed of Sound is a democracy gone too far, way too far. I don't know. I'm not sure because I think it is when you start having things like Cook of the House on there. It has, but I don't think there's anything wrong with The Note You Never Wrote. I think that's a fantastic track. I think Must Do Something About It is a really good track as well. And you could argue that those two tracks, and you can probably include Time to Hide in that as well, are probably better than some of the ones that McCartney sings, like the average ones, like Sam Ferian and She's My Baby and things like that. So I don't know. I think that there's a rhetoric that it's a democracy that has gone too far. That's the common thought. But actually, when you actually dig into it a little bit deeper, I'm not sure if that is actually true. And that it's like it's like it's a democracy gone wrong by reputation. A bit like the Smiths' music is really miserable by reputation, if you know what I mean. Chris says thoughts on a Giles remix, outtakes box of 1964 Hard Day's Night plus singles plus Long Tall Sally EP plus Beatles for Sal. Yeah, I would be up for that. A lot of people want separate boxes for each album, but I just think I just want this project done. Really, I just want the project done. So to combine two albums with the singles and EPs that came out around that, and what about some outtakes? Yeah, outtakes as well. Yeah, that would be good. Richard says, I think Jet is my favourite rocker, followed by Live and Let Die. So no one's shouted for those yet. So well done, Richard. Lee Sanner. Venus and Mars is so overlooked. Paul was peaking as a musician. But who are we saying? Who's overlooking it? Are we saying that fans are overlooking it, or are we saying, because it sold really well. It sold really well. It is my favourite album. Bluebird is a really good ballad too. Yeah, it is. It is. Paul says, I agree, Tone. With the release of the Red and Blue, they should have dropped the years from the titles and just called them Red and Blue and included Frizz, Bird, and Real Love. Yeah, they should have done that. They should have done that. Nick says, how high are the chances that we'll get a new Macca studio album this year? I don't know. You know how it is, Nick. He never lets us know what is going on in his little Macca mind. When McCartney 3 came out, it just arrived, didn't it? It just didn't arrive. It just arrived without any much fanfare. And I reckon a new album will probably be the same. Oh, there's a new Paul McCartney album coming out in a couple of weeks. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the chances are of having it this year. How do we ever know? How do we ever know? Mr. Joe says, yeah, No More Lonely Nights is up there too. Good choice, Terry M. Lee says, John was almost on Venus and Mars. Was he? No More Lonely Nights would be my number one McCartney ballad, says Keir. Oh. Eddie says, I'd love to see Paul record a piano-based album. Right, crate digging. Okay, so you did well. You did well to pick those 4 up. Well done, well done. Grateful Kate says, too many people, best rocker. Back Bacon Beer says, Red Rose Speedway is more underrated than Venus and Mars. Yeah, possibly. But it's nowhere near as good. So maybe it deserves to be underrated. In my opinion. Just my opinion. My opinion. Terry says, best Macca rocker, Smile Away from Ram. Good shout. Peter says, rocker, Monkberry Moon Delight. Good shout. MJ popped into studio for Venus. Michael Jackson. David says, still think it's a mystery why Dark Horse didn't chart after the success of George's previous albums. Yeah. Well, I think it was to do with it got terrible reviews. George's voice was shot on a lot of the album as well. But yeah, when you think about it, when you think about the success that All Things Must Pass had and Living in the Material World, both number one albums, you would have thought that the next album would also be a number one, but no, it wasn't. Music Sound says, Pipe's a piece of shit. In my opinion, worst Paul album. Have you heard Kisses on the Bottom? Martin says, Venus is a very good album. Paul's vocals are probably his best. Yeah, particularly on Call Me Back Again. Fantastic vocals on that. Lee says, Paul's vocal on Magneto is miraculous. Fabi says, how is your arm tone? My arm's fine. My arm's fine. It's okay now. Thank you. Grateful Kate is nominating Ammonia as a ballad. Richard says, not to change the subject, but what the hell is Apple thinking with these 3-inch single-sided discs for Record Store Day? Why didn't they just release an EP and they could have done 3 colour variations? I've no idea. Who is interested in that? No one, I don't think. We already talked about that a bit earlier, actually, Richard. but that's okay. Martin says, always loved Call Me Back Again, Paul's song to John. Yoko won't let him at the phone, the bitch. Nobody knows that. Okay, Lee says, Warm and Beautiful could have been an off Abbey Road. Okay. David Jackson says, I much prefer Wildlife to Back to the Egg. Yeah, well, in my deep dive into Back to the Egg, I kind of said that Back to the Egg was probably my second least favorite Wings album, with only Wildlife being ranked lower. But I'm not 100% sure on that, because I quite like Wildlife, but it's more about, for me, Wildlife is more about the feel than the actual songs. Some of the songs are not great. Go on a bit, don't they? Richard says, colour variations if they need to maximise the dollar haul. I think that might be to do with Warm and Beautiful. I'm not sure. Abbey Road is perfect except for Maxwell. Hate that thing. Yeah, it's got humour though. It has got humour. It has got humour. That's true, because The Long Road Out of Hell by Neil Strauss. I don't know what that means. Lee says, gotta go, Tone. Daggers are being thrown by granddaughter. I'll catch up and comment in a couple of days on what I missed. Take care. No worries, mate. Thanks for showing up and contributing, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers. Thank you. That's what made the Smiths seem sad. Yeah. Linda co-wrote the McCartney songs on Speed of Sound, even note you never wrote, according to AMG. Yeah, we wonder. Calico Skies, Little Willow, and Great Day. Great ballads from Flaming Pie. David Jackson, would be interesting to hear the American pressing of Beatles albums with the reverb, etc. For as us Brits haven't heard these versions. Yeah, I agree. I was thinking that we might get those kind of Dexter mixes, maybe to celebrate the 60th anniversary, but they didn't think it was worth celebrating with anything that anyone might actually want. So it didn't happen. Matthew says, Live and Let Die is my favourite Rocker Junior's Farm. Pretty good too. Yep. Some run of album, that Red Rose Speedway, Band on the Run, and Venus and Mars. Yes. Because Venus and Mars is never mentioned in Paul's in the Paul's greatest album conversation. Okay. When I eventually get round to doing my Paul McCartney ranking video, it will enter the conversation. Richard says, no love for Mull of Kintyre. Those pipes still give me tingles. Yeah. It's when you get older and you start mellowing out a little bit. I mean, when that came out, it was the height of punk. And McCartney brings out a ballad with bagpipes. That is, no one can say that he hasn't got bottle, and wipe the floor with everything, But bagpipes, they're not the most pleasant sounding instrument, are they? Especially when you're younger. When you get older, you kind of think, oh, bagpipes quite nice, quite like them. Matthew says Live and Let Die is my favourite rocker. Jared says more Beatles BBC, remaster everything available. Thoughts? Keep on keeping on Beatley tone. Thank you. More Beatles BBC, remaster everything available. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'd say that there are. Um, I mean, it would be near the bottom of my queue. It would be near the bottom of my queue. I think the BBC uh, stuff to have a revamp. I think Judith's Farm is pretty special too. Lee says May Pang says John asked her if he should go to New Orleans, Venus, and write with Paul again. Yeah, but can we believe anything that May Pang says? That's the problem. Junior's Farm is a good one. Charles Duncan says, I love Paul to use his fan base on his next album. Rob says, why aren't we talking about the returning to Paul of his original Hofner bass? Well, iffy recovery story, in my opinion. Well, we've just this second mentioned it. And we did speak about it earlier. I think we did. Did we? Yeah, yeah. We think it's a bit sus. Do we think it's a bit sus? We think it's a bit sus. Backseat in My Car is a great rocker. Also a great ballad. Now, what are we putting that? What category would we put that in? Okay, Terry says, nice one, Jared. Been giving the BBC albums a deep dive recently, and maybe they are due remastering to bring those vocal harmonies to the fore. Yeah. I'm always a day late and a dollar short tone. I wouldn't believe May Pang. She also said that John and Paul made great music during that jam. Yeah. If I could rewrite Beatles history, switch Maxwell Silver Hammer with Old Brown Shoe, Maxwell would be perfect as Ballad John and Yoko's B-side. Okay. Paul's best of the last 20 odd years, House of Wax, convinced me otherwise. I'm not even going to attempt to convince you because I agree with you. It is fantastic track. Fantastic track. Mulligan Guitar, yeah, another great ballad. Might change my choice on that one, Tone. You are perfect at liberty to do that. Mulligan Guitar is one of my favourite ballads with No More Lonely Nights and Waterfalls. Armin's here. Hi, Armin. Good afternoon from Germany to everyone. Did I miss a lot? Yeah, we've been chatting for about an hour and a half. I think on various things. Gail's here. Love the bagpipes, young or old. Ralph says, have you seen Record Store Day list for April? So many Beatles related items. Yes, have. Grateful Kate is also loving the bagpipes. Armin says, have you discussed the next Beatles release already? And what have you decided it will be? We have discussed it. We haven't really come up with a totally satisfying answer. As usual, we're floating with Rubber Soul, but we're also talking about maybe a 1964 box of Hard Day's Night, Beatles for Sale, Long Tall Sally EP, some outtakes and stuff. We think that would be fantastic. But you know, we haven't decided that it's going to be that. We never know, do we? We never know. Paul and George hugging during Real Love is more moving than anything I've seen on Now and Then. Okay. Bailey got hi Beatley Tone. You sound a little worn out. Venus and Mars #1. Yeah, I've got a cold and a sore throat. Keir says House of Wax is definitely top 5 track the last 20 years. So Paul Alligator would be in there for me too. Paul's story about Venus and Mars is brilliant. He says he hated the album, then was at a party. He could hear great music from another room, went in, and it was Venus and Mars. Yeah, what an idiot. What a dork. Paul Cassidy says, thanks, Tone. I need to go and get Sunday dinner. On your way, Paul. Thanks very much for turning up for the live stream. Nice to see you. And I'll speak to you soon, I expect. Thank you. Martin says, I love Paul's story about John being short-sighted. He thought the family down the road were praying, but it was a nativity play told to Ronnie Wood. Those 3-inch disc records today is the Beatles' next release, unfortunately. Yeah. Tone, got a great one for you. It's on SoundCloud, Anthology Revisited. A lot of stuff I hadn't heard on it, and it's free. Okay. Okay. You want to send me a link or something? That'd be good. That'd be good. Tone, I've been telling people for 4 years I spotted Paul's stolen Hofner 3 minutes in the Find My Way video. It's in the background and also on the new Now and Then video right in his guitar rack at the front. Tone, quick off topic. I see the acoustic guitar in the background. Do you play electric as well? If so, what model? No, I don't have an electric guitar. I do have that acoustic guitar, but I am like the worst guitar player ever. So I don't even play that guitar very much anymore. But I'm a drummer. So I kind of play the guitar like you would expect a drummer to play the guitar. In other words, absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. But that's me. Okay, I think we might be at the end. We might be at the end of the of all the questions. So that's great. Let's draw a line. Let's draw a line. And thank you everyone who's been on the stream today. Whether you've contributed in the Peanut Gallery or whether you've you've just been watching along. It's been great to have you here. Thanks very much for joining me for this this live stream, and we'll do another one soon. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. So I will see you all soon, guys. Bye.